How spontaneous is your best creativity? How did you figure out that balance between being a musician and being a YouTuber? If you had not become a full-time singer-songwriter and videographer, what other career do you think you may have ended up with? Ray asks, how spontaneous is your best creativity? Are you able to successfully force musical creativity when during a planned work session? I would say my best ideas have come at unexpected times, and I have had in the last 5 years of being full-time on YouTube, I have had the luxury most times to be able to make space for that creativity. But more so in recent years, I've been quite structured, quite disciplined. I've had a team, I've had events, I've been touring. So you have to be able to find the gaps in your schedule to then be able to take advantage of the time. But every creative idea you have is valuable, because even if that idea isn't actually good, you're sort of getting the cogs in motion. So yeah, I would say my best moments have been spontaneous, and I get this sort of like gut instinct when I really want to write a song or when I have a really good idea for a video. I have to act upon it immediately. And I would say maybe my biggest flaw is that I've thought that I could override that. I've thought that I have been doing this long enough that I can park that idea and then move it into a longer gap or another day. And you lose momentum. And that idea, I mean, in Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic, she does talk about ideas not really belonging to you, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but ideas are sort of all floating around. You might have had it where you have this great idea, and then literally the next day on YouTube, or in your friendship circle, or in your songwriting group, or your music school, or just actually in business day to day in your career, you've had this great idea, and the next day, if you haven't acted upon that, maybe a month later, maybe 3 months later, someone else has exactly the same idea as you. And if you haven't acted upon it, it's no longer yours. You've had the idea, but it's all about the execution. So I've said in a recent video, you have to put your creativity into the gaps of your life, because life only gets busier. And I really used to think that I was special and that I had all this time. Now I just realized, no, everyone gets older and everyone has less time in their day. Life just keeps progressing. You just enter different eras. And yeah, my life now at 35 is very different to 25. I'm very aware I'm still young, and I'm having to remind myself of that youth and freedom and not get my head buried in the sand. But other people don't have that luxury, and I fully understand that. So with those gaps, finding the gaps is the first step. Is it 5 a.m. before the kids wake up? I've heard of famous writers getting up and just doing half an hour a day. Or is it once the kids have gone to bed, 9 p.m., you've had dinner with your partner, you're just, maybe you're doom scrolling? What if you replaced that hour of doom scrolling, which I'm guilty of too, with a bad idea? Just put a bad idea down. But maybe your body will get into a rhythm where you go, you know what, actually, you're gelled, you're primed, you've been putting in the work, you've been mapping out the bad ideas, putting them down on paper, and suddenly you're at 9 p.m, it's a Thursday evening, and you're like, this is it. This is time for that great idea. I am going to execute it. I'm going to finish it, or I'm going to really dig my fingers into it. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's ever changing, ever flowing. Some people are so disciplined, they work 9 to 5 on their creativity, and that's how they get to the end goal. But not everyone has those hours. So with whatever you have, if you are feeling a sense of envy towards some other creative person, and you're thinking, well, they can do it because they have all the time in the world, I bet you they don't have as much time as you're thinking that they do. So take that envy, realize that it's something deep inside you that's trying to tell you something. It's going, you know what, I actually really think you should be doing that. And you just have to act on it. And hey, some of the best songs in history have been written in 15 minutes. But to get to that 15 minutes, you have to have written the bad songs. I hope that answers your question. Nicholas asks, "Hi Mary, I'm sometimes concerned about leaning too far into creating content on YouTube. How did you figure out that balance between being a musician and being a YouTuber?" Ooh, have I ever figured it out? I'm not sure. I think the thing I am learning is that the different types of creativity, that if you just put it cleanly without worrying about the actual platform of delivery, it's music and it's video. I have been a musician since I was 6 years old, just because maybe I lean into something for a little while longer than maybe my audience might expect or I might expect. It doesn't take away my identity as a musician. Being in this for long enough, you just have to have faith that some periods of time will be extremely fruitful as a songwriter, and then other periods of time will not be. The thing that I'm forging, and is quite, a relatively new career path, is that the videos can be quite consistent. I can keep making videos, but I can't always write the best song. I have to allow for space and time for that to develop. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel anyway, because I was there thinking, I was like, I need to keep my wheels in motion. I need to keep this audience knowing that I'm here and I'm alive and I'm working on things. But then also as an educator, there's always something to talk about. There's always something to be making a video about. And yeah, so the balance between being musician and video maker, that happens to be, I prioritize YouTube as that platform. And the medium, I much prefer longer form content where I get to actually sit with you, talk to you, maybe even say something that resonates. Maybe it makes your day a little bit better. I really love doing that. So just because I also want the identity as songwriter, why does it mean that I have to not do the things I like doing, which is make videos? I've made videos for almost as long as being a guitarist. I was making videos in my bedroom when I first started writing songs at 15. I have that period of time documented. So yes, 20 years later, I'm still making videos. I happen to have grown the most awesome, in the true sense of the word, awesome community on YouTube. Sometimes I'll be a songwriter, sometimes I'll be on tour. Most of the times, I will be a normal person making a video in the woods. I hope that answers your question. Never worry about anything outward facing. What are you feeling today? How do you feel? Do you want to be making a video right now, or do you want to be writing a song? Do you need to prioritize that period of time where you are really, really writing? Then go for it. You can take your time. Read Cal Newport's Slow Productivity. But, if you want the audience, you have to play that game too. Okay. Sylvia asks, if you had not become a full-time singer-songwriter and videographer, what other career do you think you may have ended up with? In other words, outside of music and filmmaking and watches, what else makes you tick? See what I did there? I, yes, I mean, my hobbies have essentially become the foundation of my career. So it started off with music that led me to guitar, and then that led me to songwriting. And then I have other loves, I have other hobbies, I have cycling, and I have watches now. And yeah, that all comes under the same umbrella. I just love telling stories. So yeah, I guess that's all my career now, just showing my interests out loud and learning in public, whilst also, trying to create art in songs and videos. My dream career, other than this one, which is a total dream, and I'm so lucky to be living it, is to be a firefighter. I know that is so, you're probably just like, what? What do you mean? I admire firefighters so much. The athleticism and bravery and the cool gear. What's not to love? I would say, yeah, the fact that some of them are trained paramedics as well. It's just got hero written all over it. And maybe, I wouldn't do it to be seen as a hero, but I find them to be modern day heroes. I mean, they, alongside medical professions, you guys know my mother has been a nurse for 20 years. And I just see that as so saintly and wonderful. And God, I admire it so much. So I would say I would have, if I'd been clever enough, that is, I would have liked to have gone down, the medical route or athletic firefighter. I know it is bizarre, but if any of you happen to be firefighters, I just want to, thank you. I know I'm probably, I've watched things like Chicago Fire and other programs that, really dramatize it and make it look a lot more glamorous than it most definitely is. Not everything is glamorous all the time. But yeah, wow. I mean, I think that would be it. Every time I see a fire engine, I think of those men and women going out and not quite knowing what they're going to stumble upon. And the other thing that I really admire is that their every day is meeting people on their worst days, and they continue on. And actually looking at friends and family in, maybe more in the medical field, I think of them often when I'm having a, bad day. It is nothing in comparison to what they put themselves through, the training they've put themselves through, and the sacrifice. So I hope that answers your question. And yeah, let me know if you're a firefighter. That's so cool.